Good evening. Welcome to the session. I am Ramesh Singh with you from Delhi. You must be knowing that along with whole northwest India, Delhi is also shivering with cold. And you can see this and feel it. How I am in a warm pullover and jacket. Okay? And when this class will get over, I will start using my cap also. Just see, it's difficult because you can't be in blower and in front of heaters all along whole day. In the nights you are in blankets or in rajais, but in daytime it's very difficult to bear the severe cold we are facing for the last over 1 week, almost 10 days. Okay, and there doesn't seem any improvement in weather conditions. It's maximum 14 to 16 and minimum 3 to 2 to 6. This is the range which we are having in Delhi. The people who are from other regions, they must be lucky. Okay, and you might have read in media how Dehradun, Mussoorie, Nainital, they are less cold than Delhi, and Delhi is colder. Okay, yes, Sitadri, it is very difficult to brave the cold of Delhi. So welcome to the session. So again, the session of today is aimed at sharing some current economic events along with conceptual clarity involved with those news items. Okay, so let's see what I have brought for you today. Okay, and you are welcome with your doubts also. Okay, I don't think Chitadri there should be any issue in audio, but still, is it okay now, Chitadri? Is some audio issue there, or I think video is all fine. Now, audio should be also okay. Good evening, Rizwan, Sitadri, Surja, Gautam, Shruti, Akhil, and Arun. Shivam also, and all of you are welcome. Okay, Abhinav also, Akhil also. So, thank you for giving your feedback. Okay, so let's begin. Today's topic actually is related to interest rate, which is decided by central bank in case of India, our RBI, and its relationship with inflation. These two areas I would like to link up to the recent happenings, how successively RBI has been increasing interest rates in India since May 2022. It means since May 2022 till date, there has not been enough downtrend in interest rate which are fixed and announced by RBI. Rather, it has been going up and up, caused by multiple reasons which were related to India and the world. Okay, let's see what exactly has been the reasons for this. Okay, so Our today's discussion revolves around this thing only. Okay. So the title of today's discussion you can see here is Inflation and Rate Hikes by RBI. Okay. In this discussion, what sort of things we are going to understand? The first, we will be trying to understand economics of interest rate and inflation. Okay, the primary discussion. The second thing I will share with you, that is internal variables of inflation in case of India. Other than this, external variables of inflation in case of India. And the last, that is depreciation in rupee, the major reason. It means that the major reason for interest rate hikes by RBI in recent months. Rather, you might be thinking it was higher rate of inflation, but there has been other reasons also, and one major reason has been कि rupee, that is Indian currency, started depreciating against primarily American dollar in a big way. Okay, so say what exactly economics is involved with these all things. Okay, so on this topic, if anybody has any doubt, you are welcome. Thank you, Aditya. So I have arranged very one of the finest audio which I can log in front of the system. So I don't think there should be any audio issue. Okay. Anyway, so let's begin. Economics of interest rate and inflation. First, I would like to tell you that when I wrote basically rate hikes, okay, rate hikes basically mean increase, increase in repo rate, repo rate by RBI. You know कि after the last monetary policy, repo rate today stands at 6.25% per annum, the rate at which banks borrow from RBI for their short-term needs. And this rate is the benchmark rate for operation of India's money market also. Clear? So when I say rate hikes, it means hikes in repo rate which are affected by RBI. Clear? It is presently 6.25% per annum. Due to this rate hikes, what happens? Ki interest rates, interest rates on all loans, all loans go up. All loans, I mean the existing loans and all new loans which banks might offer. Clear? It pains those people more who have taken home loans and industrial loans over there. Clear? Whether your interest rate is fixed or flexible, interest rate hits very hard to all existing and upcoming borrowers. Due to interest rate going up, what happens as an effect? Key lending, lending, that is borrowing, lending and borrowing, they go down. Business activities shrink, investment shrink, our expenditure shrink, our consumption shrink, and finally demand for goods and services go down. That is how rupee is there, but people don't spend. People don't borrow either consumption loan or non-consumption loan. This is how inflation cools down. Clear? So when we say rate hikes, it means interest rate increases by RBI. Second is basically inflation. Okay? Inflation is simply put price rise. Okay? And you know how for the last several quarters, inflation rate of India, that is CPIC, has remained above 6%. Above 6%. Okay? And you know tolerable level is 6%. It has remained above 6%. Presently, it is around 5 point, almost 90%. Okay? It is just around the upper level of our target range. You know CPI is to be targeted by RBI between the range of 2 to 6%. Okay? You generally think कि to tame down inflation, RBI might be increasing interest rate. Okay, it has been a reason. But for the last many months, more than this, another reason has been more important. Okay, Rizwan, actually short-term duration means overnight or up to 1 year. No need to say overnight, just short-term money market, that is money market. Short-term financial market is the financial market from where we raise loans less than 1 year, not up to 1 year. Okay, from you can say from 1 day to 364 days. This is short-term financial market, which is taken care of by money market of India. Okay, the time you go for 1 year, it becomes basically capital market. Very good evening, Sonu. Pranam. Okay. So coming to our topic. Up now, the grammar is this. Ki the relationship between inflation and interest rate. Okay. When interest rate go up, inflation comes down. When interest rate comes down, inflation goes up. This is direct connection between inflation and interest rate. Why this is so? Because when interest rate is increased, less money moves from banks to consumers. Demand falls, the reason inflation goes down. Opposite to that, when interest rates are decreased by RBI, the money becomes cheaper. People borrow more loan for either consumption or investment. Economy flows with more fund and more money. The region demand goes up and inflation goes up. So keep this thing in mind. On this, you will find repeatedly several years questions being asked in PT exam. Clear? So this should be there in your mind. Here, I am highlighting it in red. Okay? So for PT, it is very important. There is a kind of inverse relationship between inflation and interest rate. When inflation, when interest rate goes up, inflation falls down, comes down. When interest rate comes down, inflation rate goes up. Okay? So naturally, anybody can think recently for the last several months, rather say several quarters, inflation rate in India has been on higher side. The region RBI has been going for rate hikes, and that is why you know this is known as tighter monetary policy. Tighter monetary policy. Okay, rate tightening, hikes in rate. These are the terms which you see in media appearing. Clear? Now, one small extension of this topic, what is relationship between interest rate and inflation? I would like to share with you what has been internal variables of inflation recent time in India. What are the factors which have caused higher inflation in the country? Okay, and the reasons I am going to cite here, they are not according to me or according to media. These reasons are according to Government of India, Ministry of Finance and RBI. This is very important thing. You keep reading great many news items, articles in media, okay? But all of them are not useful for your examination. This is examination which revolves around Government of India's documents and their beliefs, okay? So I repeatedly suggest aspirants to follow up accommodative stance. Basically, these things I have written in my book also. Accommodative is basically as inflation changes, as interest rates will be changing. Okay, but accommodative stance of monetary policy is taken by a central bank once inflation rate is showing falling trend. So naturally, when inflation is following falling trend, interest rates are also cut down month after month and quarter after quarter. Okay, clear? Is it clear to you? Devanshu Raghuvanshi is asking, sir, if bank borrows from RBI for long term, what is the term used for such interest rate? That is bank rate. You got it right, Devanshu. Okay, you are correct. So bank rate is the interest rate which is charged by RBI upon the loans which it offers to banks operating in India for long term. That is minimum 1 year and more than 1 year. Clear? You got it right. And such loans belong to capital market, not the money market. Clear? So let me share with you some of the important internal variables of inflation in India. Okay. The first variable is welcome Shivam. First variable is basically कि in wake of COVID-19, COVID-19 a bit liberal, a bit liberal monetary policy was followed. Monetary policy was followed. Okay, under which great many stakeholders got concessional loans. Then those who needed short-term money for working capital, they also got, and loans were relaxed also. Clear? Why? Because to cut down economic hardships faced by stakeholders, RBI kept on following monetary policy. There was severe scarcity of short-term capital. The reason RBI flowed huge amount of capital, lakhs of crore rupees in Indian economy, so that those who need short-term money, that is working capital, their business should not be getting hit hard. This is one reason. Clear? Second reason is basically supply side disruption. Supply side disruption. Supply side disruption is the smooth supply of goods got disrupted. So when supply is disrupted and demand is where it used to be, so there will be a widening gap between supply and demand. It will propel inflation onward. Clear? Second thing is basically India started getting crude oil, crude oil at costlier prices. Clear? The reason inflation went up, it hit the cost of transportation basically, and other segments and input cost of running and operating business in the country. Clear? These are basically prime regions which you can call internal region. It is very difficult to separate internal from external because you might be thinking ki costlier crude oil should be external region. But I referred it here because it did hit our internal variable, that is cost of transportation. Okay? And normally input cost increased. Input cost increased. Surprisingly, monsoon remained favorable. In this case, minimum support prices of food grains were increased. It also had a negative impact on inflation. Next one in Q is basically minimum wages. Minimum wages were also revised, revised by Government of India for urban laborers and rural laborers. Okay, so when minimum wages are revised upward, so laborers get more money, they create more demand, inflation goes up. Clear? Simply put, then Prime Minister Jan Kalyan Anna Yojana. Okay, this scheme had basically big off-take of food grains, food grains. These are the major reasons why inflation increased in India. India faced inflation pressure in recent times. Clear? Is it clear to you? These points will be written as it is when you are writing an answer for main exam. Clear? Now coming to external variables. It means कि those variables which don't find origin in India, rather they are external. How they did hit rate of inflation in India. First is basically rise in rise in commodity prices. Commodity prices in global market. In global market. Okay. Especially crude oil, food grains, and few metals. Okay. Crude oil I include with crude oil natural gas also. Okay. Crude oil, natural gas, food grains, and few metals. Their prices went up. It did hit India also. Clear? Coming to second one. Second one is basically again global supply. Global supply chain disruptions due to COVID-19. So you might have seen that supply chain disruption is among the internal variable as well as external variables. Why? Because in India also, due to lockdowns, due to closure of business enterprises, transportation disruption, supply chain got disrupted. Similarly, when you think of global market, The global market supply chain had also got disrupted. The biggest reason being कि supplies from Chinese economy has hit not only India but global economies out there, and it is still disturbing. Okay, you might be reading in media. The third reason is basically geopolitical, geopolitical reasons. Particularly, I mean Ukraine, Ukraine crisis. Okay, this is immediate cause. Okay, geopolitical reasons. The next one is basically rate hikes, rate hikes by central banks, central banks of developed world. I mean, especially, especially the Central Bank of USA, Federal Reserve Board. Okay, why? Because USA has been facing unprecedented inflation rate for last many quarters. It crossed 9.5% also, right from UK to England to France, barring Japan. Across developed world, you will see inflation rate being on higher side, breaking records of past 4 to 5 decades. Okay, so rate hikes were affected by central banks of developed countries to tame down inflation. Clear? So these are four major reasons which are of external origin, which did hit India also. Clear? Ab now, it means कि inflation in Europe and America has been a major reason why rates have been increased in those countries. Now the problem is when rates are increased in America, so why it forces us to increase rate? So if you don't increase rate in India, so what will happen? The dollar gets scarce. And if you don't increase interest rate in India, the rupee will flow cheaper. So your currency will depreciate faster. Did you understand? And when your currency depreciates faster, your imports become costlier. As much you won't earn out of exporting more than that you drain due to higher costs of imports. Clear? So as a result, what happens in India, in case of India, as a result, India was facing double problem. India was having higher inflation already. But to tame it down, we need to go to increase interest rate. Second is basically depreciation in rupee. To check depreciation, again we need to increase interest rate upside. Clear? Why this is so? Just come down. Depreciation in rupee, the major reason. Come down here. I would let you know. Basically, first thing is due to due to increase due to increase in interest rate interest rate in the US dollars get scarce, flows flows less to India, flows less to India. As a result, our foreign exchange market, our foreign exchange market faces scarcity of US dollars. Clear? I will let you know, Devanshu Raghuvanshi. Just wait. First, let me finish. Ki, due to increase in interest rate in USA, US dollar gets scarce, flows less to India. As a result, our foreign exchange market faces a scarcity of US dollar. In such a scenario, if if size of rupee in economy is left same, rupee will depreciate. Rupee will depreciate. Okay. So so to check rupee from depreciating depreciating, RBI has to make rupee scarcer. The solution is the solution is increase increase interest rate, that is repo rate. Clear? This is the internal connectivity. Is it clear to all of you? This is how things move. It means recent increase in interest rate announced by RBI, they were primarily aimed at two goals. First goal was checking inflation from rising, and second was basically checking depreciation depreciation in rupee. Okay, media normally highlights this thing this thing, but government of India highlights both. RBI highlights both, may not be completely vocally, but mutually itself. If you see on documents of RBI, recent releases and opinions and statement comments coming from member of Monetary Policy Committee, you come to know that 6 months back, India was and RBI was increasing interest rate due to tame inflation. But later on, RBI ran to increase interest rate to check depreciation in rupee also. Is it clear to all of you? So the things I discussed today, try to connect them along. Inflation and interest rate, internal variables of inflation right now, external variables of inflation right now, and why interest rate has been hiked by RBI repeatedly since May 2022. Clear? One small doubt has come from Devanshu. He is asking, what is basic difference between depreciation and devaluation? Okay, so let me clear. It is part of today's class, so let me share the idea. Actually, external value, external value of a currency. In case of India, it is rupee. Okay, it is rupee. Suppose external value of a currency may go up and may come down. If the value has gone up or has come down, it can come down via two routes. Either it is devaluation or depreciation. Okay, depreciation. So when you say devaluation, value has been decided, decreased officially. It means कि a government or central bank has officially announced कि earlier $1 was is equal to rupees 80. Now it will be is equal to 84. It is officially done. It is devaluation. But if same thing is done by market, same thing, it is known as depreciation. When market can do that, when a currency is following floating currency system, floating currency system. What is floating currency system? In floating currency system, in a foreign exchange market, in a foreign exchange market, foreign currency is equal to rupees. They decide their own price on the basis of their demands and supply. Okay. So theoretically, devaluation is not possible in floating currency system. It is possible only in fixed currency system, fixed currency system, or pegged currency system, or semi fixed currency system. Is it clear? Did you understand? So India was following fixed currency system till 1992-93, after which we shifted to floating currency system. So since then, you will never find that Indian currency has devalued or has been devalued because it is not possible. Clear? Yes, Shruti. Actually, when foreign exchange market of a country is following principles of market economy, market forces, then we say the country is following floating currency system where currencies of the world determine their prices against other currencies depending upon their demands and supply in the particular foreign exchange market. If in India's foreign exchange market, dollar supply is low and rupee supply is high, so rupee will lose value. Vice versa, if dollar has become basically surplus and rupee supply is same, the rupee will basically gain value. Okay, it will gain value. Just opposite to it, कि dollar was selling in 84 rupees each. Now it will start selling 80 rupees each. So devaluation and depreciation result in same thing. Local currency loses value. But while devaluation is officially done, that is possible in only fixed currency system, depreciation is market driven. That is why you see in depreciation what happens? The depreciation is basically a market driven process. That is market forces, demand and supply. Okay? Ab Devanshu, we can't discuss all these things here. Actually, it was part of Article 8 of IMF because we took from IMF balance of payment related help in 1991. So certain conditions are imposed on the country. It was one of the conditions. You need to make your currency market based. Did you understand? No. China follows floating currency system. Okay. China follows floating currency system. China is following today a very dynamic kind of market economy. Okay, Shivam, actually, normal and effective are same thing. When you are deriving value of rupee against dollar without including impact of inflation in India and USA, that is nominal effective exchange rate. Okay, but when you are considering inflation of USA and inflation of India and then deriving a rate as a real effective exchange rate, clear? It means कि nominal effective exchange rate is without factoring out effects of inflation, and real effective exchange rate is after including the impact of inflation on American currency, that is American dollar, and our currency, that is rupee currency. Is it clear? No, when export increases, you cannot say when export increases, you earn income in foreign currency, but it won't make rupee go up. You earn more. Okay? You don't think when we export, the dollar comes in India, the rupee loses value. No, that is not the case. It is sale and purchase. Clear? It is sale and purchase. To understand these things, you need to clear your fundamentals of foreign exchange market operations and then movement of inflation. Clear? How they connect to each other. And we cannot discuss all of these things in half an hour session. Clear? So, this is our topic of today that is done. I will schedule my next current and conceptual economy class 4 for next Sunday 8 p.m. Okay. In the meantime, these are some of the details related to me and my courses, which you should keep in mind. If any one of you have joined the courses, courses are available offline and online both. A new batch is commencing on January 16th also. For those one of you or your friends, you just tell them that these courses are now available at a very concessional fee. Okay, you can join my only official channel, Telegram channel. You can see here. You can join my official Telegram group also, where you can ask your doubts. Clear? I reply doubts of my student very positively. Okay. So this is completion of today's session. See you on next Sunday. In the meantime, you are free to advise me through my Telegram group. If you want to listen me, discuss certain those things which I have not included. No, Sonu, this lecture will be continuing across the year, every Sunday, every Sunday. Okay, don't worry, I am there. Okay, and you are free to ask your any doubt. I mean to say any doubt, because you know ki YouTube is today flooded with great many experts. What to ask of on economy? There are dozens of people who are teaching my book. Okay, I remain surprised that without understanding economics, how one can teach a book. The problem is this: I never taught my book in my course. Okay, those one of you who have been part of my course, they know it very well. Okay, so in this confusion where IAS aspirants are flooded with information, I try to put them out of the confusion so that they are able to understand economics in the right way. Okay, and be part of these sessions You will learn